And we will actually be having a Twitch commercial coming up very soon. While we're setting up this next game, I just want to give a special shout out to MagFest. MagFest is short for Music and Gaming Festival. They create events that provide a means for people to enjoy games and music concerts. They have many events a year, and you can check out magfest.org for more information. I also want to give a special shout out to Pinball Joe. Not only is he donating a pinball cabinet for a raffle prize, as you can see on the screen right now. If you're looking for a different way to donate to the Cancer Foundation, head over to the Pinball Done Quick side stream at twitch.tv/pinballjoe and subscribe now. I also want to give a big thank you to World 9 Gaming for providing all the PCs in the practice room, as well as many different CRTs as well. They have dedicated staff, tournament expertise, and a large collection of retro games and consoles. They are the best gaming experience at the lowest costs for all events, large and small. Be sure to check them out at world9gaming.com. Also, special thanks to the Yeti, the official clothing sponsor of AGDQ 2016. They have their store up right now for a bunch of Games Done Quick shirts at theyeti.com/AGDQ.
Yes.
And everyone get ready for Outlast, featuring St. Connor.
You guys ready? All right. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, hello. My name's St. Connor. This is Outlast. So a lot of you guys gave a donation for the 80% all chapters, which is where I'll be running. To briefly explain what that is, 80% is obviously beat the game as fast as possible, but that's kind of boring, to be honest, because it's really just like one trick, and you're pretty much at the end of the game. All chapters, on the other hand, you have to visit at least one checkpoint in each chapter, and there are 8 chapters in the game. So right now we're in the admin block, the first chapter of the game. So right away, we're going to do a trick we call the wall rider. What it does is it briefly shrinks your hitbox. And then when you're pressed up against a wall and you neutral jump, for some reason when a neutral jump in this game jumps forward slightly, and with your hitbox shrunken down, it pushes the hitbox through the wall. So it allows us to do silly things like go out of bounds. Also, hurtling objects does the same effect. So you can use doors or desks or basically anything to get out of bounds here. So that first little bit drops us down to the basement, allows us to hit a couple switches to turn the power back on. Also there, the active frames of the door, if you close it just right, you can still walk through it in the early frames of it being closed. The main reason why I want to do that there is that guy banging on the door, if he comes in the door or I come out of the room early before he gets there, he'll chase me in this entire sequence. I don't exactly want that because I need to be able to do this safely without him taking a swing at me. There we go. Because he can kind of mess up the trick as I'm trying to get through the wall. Because he'll take a swing at me and it'll hit me through the wall and kind of get me stuck in the wall. We don't want that, so. So you'll see me do a lot of save and exit as well. In the bottom left, you'll see like a saving, and certain checkpoints kind of progress me through the game. So we're now in the prison block, which is the second chapter. This block is pretty short, but there's a quick cinematic and stuff. So if you want to read a quick donation, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, sure thing. We have an anonymous $5 donation. GDQ Hype, hello from Australia. I thought I would donate before I head off to work or head off to bed to work in the morning to get more money to donate again. Don't go baking my heart and kill those animals.
Cool. So we're going to do another door boost, which is what I've been doing. Kind of what you'll see is I'll hop on the door and it'll actually push me on top of the ceiling. The way that works is when doors are actually opening, they're not active, like solid. So I can release the door. I'll do a quick peek, release the door, jump away from it, and jump back into the frames as it's loading again, and it will pop me onto the roof here. Also, they kind of made a mistake of putting a save point right behind where you start. So that's the second chapter done already, and we're now in the sewers. So very quick chapter. You'll see a lot of door boosting. It'll happen quite often. Oops. Right. There we go. So walking around here can be a little tricky because it looks like I'm kind of off the edge there. If I actually take a couple wrong steps, I'll fall. So I want to be extremely careful of where I'm jumping. And a small little thing here is water generally slows down your movement speed, but jumping kind of negates that. So you can just jump through the water and make things a lot faster. We got a little bit before we get to the mail ward, so you can go ahead and read a couple donations if you want.
Sure thing. We have a $50 donation from MoonIX2K. Lost my best friend to cancer last year. He fought till his last breath. Watching this event helped me a lot. Save the animals, boys.
Alright, so now we're coming up on the mail ward here. And we'll do what's called a slope jump. Stairs aren't really built as stairs. They just kind of put ramps on them for the hitboxes. So at the very tip, if you jump, it keeps your momentum at the top of the ramp, so you can actually get a little extra height. So it allows me to get on that rail and pop out of bounds. There is actually a faster strat for this, but I'm not entirely comfortable with it. So I'm doing a little bit more marathon safe strat, just so we can kind of keep it easy. So kind of the next thing here is I'll do a vent hover. There's a little opening in the vent where I'm actually supposed to drop, but we're not going to do that. We're going to kind of go past it and go out of bounds that way. There we go. So when I go out here and I get on top of these pipes, I'm actually between the floor of one room and the ceiling of another. So we can kind of hop through into the floor above us and press right through the kitchen of the mail ward and go right into the courtyard. So very quickly, 4 chapters down already. Also, the game kind of procedurally loads, and kind of what that means is the entire map itself is built. But in order to kind of save memory so the game doesn't lag and stuff like that, they only load what's necessary as you go along in the game. And as you skip things, certain checkpoints and stuff like that aren't completely loaded, like that one right there. As you saw, it kind of turned black. So once you hit that save point, you kind of have to do a little save and exit strats. So we're going to use another wall rider here outside the courtyard. Almost went too good. So normally, like, you would run into like the railing of the fence, but I was so deep into the wall it kind of skipped that, so I was a little stunned by that. But yeah, that kind of skips like a whole sequence of like a lot of ledge jumping and climbing up on roofs and stuff like that. So it skips a good portion of the courtyard. Helps quite a bit. And but we got a ledge jump here. I'll show you what that is exactly. So Chris is right here. He kind of chases us throughout the game. Kind of similar to like Nemesis in the Resident Evil series. He's kind of constantly chasing you throughout the game. But we'll come up here. So that's a ledge jump. On the ledges, you're supposed to do like a thing where you press your back up against the wall and walk along the ledge. But if you jump at a certain angle, you can kind of just run across it. Also right there, I want Chris to hit me on purpose, or at the very least take a swing at me. Because if he doesn't, once I start to crawl in that hole, he'll grab me and throw me out, which wastes a lot of time, and we don't want that. Alright, so I don't think I got it. Alright, there we go. I might have lost it. Oh, no, I still got it. Cool. Sweet. Thought I lost it for a second. So if I'm doing that glitch and it shrinks down my hitbox, if I'm not pressed up against the wall at a certain distance, it will pop out. Luckily, I managed to keep it and save it, so we're good. It's gonna be a little tricky sometimes because it's so small to hurdle over. I did it just right, so I can get pressed up against the wall. That should be it right there. Cool, we're in there. So we were just in the female ward. That's now over. Now we're in the return to admin block, the 7th chapter, just before the last chapter. So coming up in the hallway, we'll face Chris again. So there's a little bit of faster strat where you can try to jump past Chris, but he'll hit you. And there's like a little bit of delay between enemies when they take a swing at you. And you can get in this room and kind of do the trick I'm about to do, but we're going to do this a little bit easier way. So we don't like dealing with Chris. So there's this fun little trick where if you crouch, he won't take a swing at you. And he just kind of resets his attack timer. So you can kind of just crouch up and down, and constantly reset his attack timer, and he won't take a swing at you, which is pretty helpful in getting past him. And you can do it to any enemy in the game. It's not just Chris. So one last door boost here. Oh, I think I missed it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to fall and hit a checkpoint that goes to the last chapter in the game. But there is actually an invisible floor just outside the elevator area that I gotta be wary of. So I jumped a little wrong positioned. So I kind of killed myself accidentally. Oops. Get my position right. There we go. Alright, so now we're in the last chapter. The last chapter is actually about half the run. It's pretty straightforward. There's not really many tricks, at least not yet. So feel free to read quite a few donations if you got them.
We have one at least, $20 anonymous donation. Many times watching, first time donating. Awesome work, guys, and save those animals.
Cool, so this is the last chapter of the game. It's an underground lab. I guess in development of this game, as they were progressing through the game and kind of finishing it out and stuff, I guess there were like a lot of issues with the last chapter, so they threw like a lot of invisible walls all over the place. So unfortunately that kind of keeps us from breaking this last chapter a lot. So it ends up being much longer than like the rest of the run. But there's still one more cool trick. Just kind of a little flashy. If I can get this to trigger, there we go. Unfortunately, there's a lot of cinematics in this scene, in this chapter 2, that we can't exactly avoid. We've tried all the door boosting we can, but unfortunately it's just not that broken. So this will be the last we see of Chris, even though we haven't really seen him that much. So that shadowy figure there is what is called the Wall Rider in this game. You can see my shirt, the Wall Rider Project. It's kind of like this experimental thing that goes on under this insane asylum, where they try to make insane people into super soldiers, and it doesn't quite work out for them. Who knew? So unfortunately, this is the conversation with Wernicke. It's kind of a long conversation. It's like a minute and a half of just dialogue. Unfortunately, we have to wait for him. We're trying to find ways to skip past it. There's actually a door down the hallway he opens up for us with a save point behind it, but we haven't been able to trigger that save point. If we could, that would actually skip this whole section, but fortunately, for the time being, we had to sit here and listen to a minute and a half of nothing.
So we have a $30 donation from Bumcow. My mom will be cleared of cancer this year. I've been watching these events since the beginning and never thought it would impact me personally. I feel like donating all this time was good karma. Good job to all the runners and the awesome cause.
So since I got a little bit of time, I guess, I'm just messing around, I'll give quick shout-outs. So shout out to Wrong Warp, which actually got me into this game. It got me pretty heavy into speedrunning in general. Let's see, Black for Life, I know he's watching. We've done commentary a couple times. Let's see, there's Optic. There's a bunch of people. I know for the French restream right now, Yumu is actually doing commentary for that. So thank you very much for that and commentary for that. I hope you're enjoying this. Also another French player, Daoshin. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Shout out to him too. Also shout outs to Red Barrels. I'm sorry I broke your game, but it's a lot of fun. And speaking of which, I know they recently announced about 2 months ago, I think, Outlast 2, so I'm super stoked for that. It'll probably be out around the Halloween time next year. We'll see if it's as broken. So right now it's just a lot of running, a lot of being chased.